Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Midweek Minis, the show where you get to ask us questions and we tell you your personal stories. I'm Mitch Lawrence and that's my wife Leah Lawrence.
Hey y'all.
Except this week we are not telling you one of your personal stories. We've gotten a lot of requests for Leah to tell a story because of something she said a couple weeks ago. Well, I said that she was at a cult meeting in Arkansas, and we've gotten a lot of requests for it. So if you've submitted a question for it, we're not going to put that in the bag. Leah's just going to tell the story right now. So, Leah, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so starting out, it is not an actual cult. I just call it that because the experience was so interesting. So I don't want to be divisive politically at all because that's not what this show is about, but just know that I am a more liberal human being, and that's just, I'm sure you figured that out from the way that, you know, I talk on the podcast on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. So I actually grew up attending a Southern Baptist church. My, parents went there, my grandparents went there. So, for the most part, most of the people that go to that church are pretty conservative. And so, like that, it was just to be expected in this area and that kind of church. Well,
oh yeah,
I was the daughter of a very popular my parents were really well known in the church. My mom was on the church council. My dad played music on Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. My grandparents ran the old people group. Everybody in church knew who I was because I went there since the day before I was born. You know what I mean? Everybody knew who I was. Mm-hmm. And so for some reason, this lady in church thought that I was going to be a great candidate for her group to send to this thing. All right. And so how she explained it to me was she was like the leader of, it was like a key club or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but one of the local, benevolent organizations around Hartselle, one of those groups. She was the president of it. And apparently they get to, every chapter nominates one teen to go to this leadership conference, in quotes, in Arkansas every year. Mm-hmm. And so she said to me, yeah, we want to nominate you. We think you're a fine, upstanding youth. We think you, are really strong and smart and are really going to represent us well. And I said, okay. And she said, oh, and you get $500 for going and everything's paid for. And it's just a trip to Arkansas in the summer. And I said, oh, okay, fine, I guess. And my parents were like, yeah, you should go. College applications, whatever. And so I was like, fine, that's whatever. Cool. I thought we were going to...
There were so many perks.
Yeah, so many perks, right? Yeah. So I thought that I was going to end up at just a normal, leadership kind of thing, and I don't think I knew what I was expecting.
Like a Christian camp is what you thought.
I didn't even expect it to be a Christian camp because she never said anything about Jesus, no Christian, nothing. It was just like, hey, you're going to a university in Arkansas and this is a leadership conference. I expected, leadership skills and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like team building exercises and stuff like that. That's what I was expecting. And I show up to this place and it turns out it was a very Christian conservative college that was weirdly creepy. But anyway, so I show up and I'm not going to say what university it was, but I show up on this campus and they put us all in dorms and all of this stuff, and I get to meeting all the rest of these people. We have driven all the way from Hartselle, Alabama to fucking middle of nowhere, Arkansas, with a group of 50-something other high school students from the state of Alabama, and we all show up, and immediately we are required to go to chapel, and we have the Lord's Supper. Now, once again, that's fine. I grew up, I understand, whatever. It was a Sunday that we got there. They weren't mandatorily making everybody take the Lord's Supper, but, that was a big part of it. And so I immediately realized, oh shit, this is something's weird here. Anyway, so the next day we start doing all of this stuff, and yeah, it ends up being like a right-wing rally, basically. And I'm just sitting here going, oh, fuck, they're going to find me out because I do not fit in this place. They ended up doing this, like, I don't know, like the weirdest experience that I remember from that whole thing was they had someone that they claimed was like the leader of one of the theater departments there or something like that. And he was going to give a speech about, liberalism or something. And anyway, like, I'm not kidding. This entire auditorium, except for me and like a couple of other kids that looked scared, started like yelling at this man as he was speaking, like, just like, no, America's great and all this stuff. And I'm not kidding. It was a massive crowd of teenagers screaming at this man because he said something about being an atheist, and I'm just sitting here going, oh, fucking shit. There's going to be a riot. I'm going to be like, this is problematic. God. And then, surprise, he was just a member of the faculty joking, like, haha, this is, so you've got to be strong in your convictions against the outsiders. And I'm just sitting here going, oh, fuck. If they find out what I really am, I'm going to be smacked so hard. So anyway.
So it wasn't used as a, look, here are other things in the world.
Yeah.
It was used as look, here are other things and you should be scared of them.
Exactly. And so, like, yeah, I spent the next couple of days really freaked out, very uncomfortable. And at the end, they had a banquet and a talent show, and it was very, very weird.
That sounds like an awesome talent show. I'm sure there were some very talented people.
It was very weird. Someone brought their French horn.
Oh,
and
God.
They weren't good at it.
Of course not. It's a French horn. What can you do with it?
Hey, I know some really good French hornists, but that was not one of them.
It takes them years of practice to be able to play 3 notes.
But yeah, so that was my experience with the cult in Arkansas. And yeah, I was
now, when you say
legitimately fearful for just myself.
When you say you were scared that they found out what you really were, what did you mean by that?
I am Spider-Man.
No, I'm serious. What were you talking about? Because as far as I know, and I'm married to you, so as far as I know, you are a Christian. You go to church.
Yeah, I am.
I'm not, but we make it work in our household. So
yeah, but like I also believe that everybody should have basic human rights. I believe that you should be able to love and marry whoever you want. I believe that you should be able to, as long as what you're doing doesn't harm me or my family in any way, fucking go for it. I don't care if you're an atheist, if you're a Hindu, if you are a Pastafarian. If that makes your time on earth better, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, I support your right to do what you want to do as long as what you're doing doesn't infringe on the personal well-being and safety of other people. That's it.
And they were the kind that were, it doesn't matter what people want, this is how it should be type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, I am a very socially liberal person, and I always have been. That's just sort of the way my family, my mom and dad raised me, and so it's it was very weird. But I mean, like, once again, I grew up in a pretty conservative environment, so at church and stuff like that. So I know how to blend and just kind of not get stoned. But I would never ever go back to a place like that. And
you know how to get stoned. I've seen you do it.
But as a teenager, it was not a great place for me to be. But if I had been a stronger, smarter, less terrified kid, I would have said, hey, this isn't right. But I wasn't. So there you go.
So for all intents and purposes, this was a cult gathering. And that's how I classify it. I know that you want to be more ginger with it. That was absolutely a cult gathering.
It was an indoctrination conference for sure.
Yeah. And that is what cults do.
But I got $500 out of it, so there you go.
Well, you're right. Sometimes we put up with bullshit for $500.
Leah can be bought, is my point.
I'll join your cult. Is there money in it? I'm in.
Yeah, so that is my Arkansas cult experience for everybody who is asking about it.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, y'all asked for it, so that's what you got. Oh, let's get on to some questions then.
Okay.
All right.
I
Since
hope
we
I
don't have to
haven't
talk
alienated most of the people in our audience.
about that. Well, even if you have, they've probably been to the gathering,
You're right.
so we don't necessarily want them around.
I don't know
anyway.
that we would call it the gathering, because isn't that what the Juggalos call their events?
Something like that.
It was not Juggalos. Let me just be very clear on that.
I bet some of those people have become juggalos. You know,
All
some of
right.
the people who become the wildest are like the most conservative ones in high school, and were so beaten over the head with their religion and like preachers' kids and shit. You know.
Oh, our preacher's kids were awful. They were my
I
brother's
know.
friends.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They became juggalos.
I don't think either of them were Juggalos.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll find out soon enough. All right, let's do a question from Pip. What's the best and fanciest cheese you've had? You may have two answers. Do you have an answer for this?
Oh my God. We've had lots of fancy cheeses. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
I love a good blue cheese. So any kind of fancy blue cheese, I'm all about it. I don't know if I have an answer for this, though.
One of my favorite, and it's a local, there's a goat farm it's in Madison County. I'm not sure where exactly, but it's Belchevre, however you say that goat cheese word. But their goat cheeses are really good.
I do
and
love goat
I've had
cheese.
those, and those were really fancy, and I really enjoy those. And then, I don't know. I really like a good Emmentaler.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I like. I don't like the real subtle cheeses that are like, you know, they kind of smell like a foot, those kind of cheeses. I love a really strong cheese, though, like a sharp white cheddar or a blue cheese. I love those kind. I don't like the super stinky ones, though.
I like funky cheeses. I like soft cheeses a lot.
Me too.
I
I like the kind that go well with like cranberries and nuts, you know.
Oh, yeah. Any kind of like a goat cheese with dried cranberries and walnuts. Oh, so good. Anyway, any cheese that you can rub pesto on the outside of. We're not brand specific fancy cheeses, but I love a good fancy cheese.
We've talked before about how we've done a camembert in a bread bowl before. That was wonderful. But I don't like camembert by itself. It's another one of those that's really
it
subtle.
needs something else with
Yeah,
it.
so you like...
It's more of a texture thing than a flavor.
You garlic butter the bread and then put the camembert in it and let it melt, and then it tastes good.
It's
by
so good.
itself, I don't care for it because
Yeah.
it's really subtle and just like
The
there's
same
not
thing
much
with a
to it.
brie. Like a brie is good, but
Yeah.
you need to put something on it, like honey and nuts or a pesto or a jam or something like that.
We always weasel out of these best questions because we don't have answers.
I have answers for a lot of things, but I love cheese so much that it's hard to...
Me too. I mean, like gorgonzola is probably my favorite kind of cheese.
It's
But,
a good cheese.
you know, I love blue cheeses. Real strong ones, you know. That's just my thing. I got to burp. Excuse me.
Gross.
Okay. All right, another one from Pip, and this one makes me laugh so hard. Mitch, tell us about college. Is it wild? That's what makes me laugh so hard. Because the first go-round, it absolutely was. And then this time, no, it's mostly reading shit on my computer and, you know, finding time to record podcasts in between. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's really boring and expensive. But I've needed to get it done for a decade, so might as well do it now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's super wild. There are parties every weekend. I drink like crazy, smoke a lot of dope, get all the pussy. Am I right, Leah?
Sounds great.
That's the best answer you could have had, probably. Yeah, just fratting it
Invite
up.
me sometime.
Yeah, fratting it up in the in our kitchen. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's so boring. It's so boring. I've always hated doing schoolwork. So, you know. Oh, from Kim. What one alcohol did you drink in college to the point that you can't drink it now? Leah, do you have an answer?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sparkling peach Boone's Farm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have like a sparkling peach. It's not Boone's Farm. It's Arbor Mist. Excuse me.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
I was wrong. It was they have a sparkling peach, and it's real good, but it's very sweet, and it will make you vomit every time. I will drink a whole bottle of that, and then it's problematic. Yeah, but it's sparkling peach Arbor Mist.
Okay, that's a good answer. I do have one as well. I have two, actually.
Oh, and the $4 oak leaf
there you go.
Walmart wine.
Yeah, so you have two as well.
Yeah. I drank so much Walmart wine in college.
Both of them cheap wines. Well, mine are cheap liquors. So here's why. When you're broke in college, but you know that you have to get drunk because it's Monday and people are playing beer pong, you have to go. The first one is Kentucky Gentleman. That is whiskey that is super, super cheap. It does very strange things to your body. It is whiskey, though.
Is it made in Frankfort, Kentucky, like all of the other shit that we've drank?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. It's the worst whiskey in the world. It's so bad. And it does strange things to your stomach the next day. And the second one is another very cheap alcohol that is one of those that's a blend. It's just, okay, get drunk on this. It's called Heaven Hill. You ever heard of that, Leah?
I have not.
It's at the ABC store. I'll show it to you next time. It's like $7 for a handle of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's the level we're talking here. You mix it with Dr. Pepper, and you don't taste it too much, but then in 3 hours when you're vomiting, you taste it. And you will vomit on Heaven Hill. There is no getting around it. But you mix it with Dr. Pepper, it goes down smooth, and then it comes back up just as smooth as it went down. And everything is awful for about 3 days.
That's really gross. Why would you do that to yourself?
Because you have to get drunk, Leah. People are playing card games in the study room, and I'm broke. So what am I going to do?
Yeah, I didn't drink a whole... Like, I drank in college, but not a lot. Like, we had margarita parties, but I never got, like, super trash. That was about it.
I drank a lot in college, and that's why I'm taking classes now.
I actually graduated with my degree and everything, so...
Uh-huh. Yeah. Ooh. Humble
Someone
brag.
went to college and got a degree.
Someone went to college and made friends. That I don't speak to anymore. For the most part. Everybody moves away. You know how it is. I don't know. I can't drink either of those things anymore. It is... I shouldn't have drank them in the first place, okay? Let's be honest. But I did, and things happened. Oh, I don't want to answer this one. I'm going to put this back in the bag.
What does it say?
It's from Kim. Please tell us your most embarrassing story from junior high. Do you want to do that or no?
God, there's so many.
That's what I'm saying. How am I going to pick one?
Oh, shit.
I mean, I've said before on this show that I was a very, emotional teenager. I was a very sensitive boy. And, just lots of instances with females that were like, oh, God, what the fuck? But I think that everybody has that, don't they? From junior high?
Yeah.
Where you just, like, profess your love to someone and now you look back and you're like, okay, I was 14. What the fuck am I talking about? What the fuck was I talking about?
So tell me what happened.
No, I mean, I'll tell you what happened. There was like 6 of those, Leah.
Yeah, so tell me one of them.
No, that's it. That's the most embarrassing. What's yours?
Oh, God. There is a plethora of them. Wow, I don't know where to start.
Do you have one of those that I had?
No. I would never have professed love to anybody. I absolutely not. I was no. Mm-mm.
Oh, God.
That is an absolutely not. Because just no. I don't know. This is the most embarrassing, but this is the one that's coming to my mind right now. But we were in English class in 8th grade, and we were doing a unit on Elie Wiesel's Night. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about the Holocaust and all of that stuff, and we were supposed to do a final project, creative presentation of some sort on, like, the Holocaust, right? Mm-hmm. And so you were supposed to, like, write a speech or do a painting or some kind of creative something, on that.
Right.
Well, my dad had a bunch of recording equipment growing up. He had a home studio, so I like to sing. I like to write songs, so I wrote a song. And it was actually one of the better songs I've ever written. It's actually a really good song.
Will you sing it now?
I will not. But it's about the fucking Holocaust, because that's what the fucking thing was about. Like, we were supposed to be talking about the Holocaust. Well, so this song is in a minor key. My dad played guitar for it. It was, like I said, I am incredibly still to this day proud of it, and I'm embarrassed of everything that I ever did as a kid. So, like, this was like one of the pinnacle creative things that I did in, like, as a kid that, like, I'm still proud of today. So, like, it was really good, and it was really sad because it was about, once again, the Holocaust. Mm-hmm. So in the middle of class, my teacher was like, "Oh, that's beautiful." And then she's like, "Stay with me after class." And I said, "Okay." So after class, I was like, "Yeah, what's going on?" She's like, I'm sending you to the counselor's office." And I said, "What?" She said, "I'm sending you to the counselor's office." And I said, "What did I do?" And she said, "You need to go talk to the counselor." And I said, "Okay." So I ended up missing the next 2 periods trying to convince the fucking school psychologist, who up to this point I had never seen in my life and didn't even know we had one. Sat there talking to that person saying, "I'm not depressed. I'm not suicidal," which I probably was depressed, but "I'm not suicidal. I'm not trying to kill anybody or myself. Nothing's bad. Nothing's like," and she kept going over and over, like, "Is your home life okay? Are your parents mean to you? Is something going on? Are you doing the," and I'm just sitting here going, "The song is about the fucking Holocaust. Did you want it?" And so it's been a running gag in my household ever since that happened. Because they actually called my parents and made them come up there and, like, sign papers or something saying that they talked to me about stuff or whatever. I don't know. It was weird. But my dad makes jokes about the Happy Holocaust song. Like, what were we supposed to do? Like, was it supposed to be, "I'm glad that Anne Frank got in the closet. Too bad she didn't get out." Like, what? Fucking A.
That's a fucking song.
It was bad. But anyway, that is, like, I was mortified for a very long time over that whole situation, and it made me mad. But anyway, that was one of the most embarrassing things that happened to me in junior high.
That's not that embarrassing. Class. I mean, I get it, but, like, it's not too bad. You wrote a really good song, and of course, Hartzell being what it is, it's, what are you doing writing down these emotions? You can't be creative. You should just learn and shut up.
Yeah, it was awkward, but whatever.
Oh, okay. From Leah, this will be a nice one to end on, I think, now that we don't have to talk about our fucking embarrassing bullshit. What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were little? So let me rephrase that. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up? There, that feels better now.
Okay.
Okay, so what's your answer, Leah?
It depends on how old I was when you're asking this question. The very first thing that I ever remember wanting to be and telling people that I wanted to be was a ballerina.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That clearly didn't work out because I'm fat as shit and not athletic at all. I really wanted to be a ballerina. That, once again, no go there. And then I wanted to be a history teacher forever up until, like, high school. And then I discovered the fact that you could, like, just major in theater, and that's what I decided I wanted to do. And then I actually, was in a position to be able to actually do that for a living. But then I realized that it pays nothing and doesn't come with health insurance. And yeah, so.
Yeah.
Now I work for the government.
Mm-hmm. In a theater role.
No.
That degree is coming in handy.
No.
By the way, someone in this house graduated college.
Yeah, I did. It's me, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh, so what do you want to be now that you're grown up?
I think that's a question for another day because it's in the bag.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right. Well, I wanted to be a professional baseball player for the entirety of my life. I think that I would still enjoy it, except for all the exercise. Because, well, I'll tell you what happened to me. From a very early age, I was a big kid. almost was the size that I am now when I was 10. Like, I was miles ahead of everyone in physical development, and then everybody caught up. Because when I was young, I was so much better because I was so much stronger and had much better coordination, and I was leagues ahead of everyone when I was like 10. And then by the time I was 12 and 13, everybody caught up, and I just wasn't as good anymore. And then throughout my life, like, I just wanted to play baseball in college, and people would tell me, well, they would tell you in general, if you were ever an athlete, you heard this all the time. Well, playing a sport in college is exactly like having a job. You go, okay, well, who fucking cares? I like doing this. And then you get to college and you're playing a sport and you go, oh shit, I get it now. It's like waking up at 5 a.m. to either swim in the pool or run, and then going to class, and then going to practice, and then going to study hall with those exact people you just left practice with, you know, getting home at 10, and then you're back up again at 5. And it's like, okay, I don't fucking want to do this anymore. And being a professional baseball player is that round the clock. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. Just period. So I lasted about 3 weeks on BSC's baseball team, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This blows. And I just started drinking, and it was fun.
Wow.
So yeah, if everyone was my level of fit, I would be a professional baseball player right now.
Okay.
If even playing field of fitness and conditioning right now, I would be one of the best baseball players in the world. I can guarantee you that, Leah.
So if everybody else was lazy
Exactly. It's an even playing field. So I'm one of the best ones, but then so is everyone else.
Yeah. All right. Well. Cool.
But now I just work to do it. I mean, we have to make money, so I just have a job and do everything else that I want to do on my own time. And one of them is not exercising. So there you go.
Yeah, we've got to change that.
I've always hated exercising. Like, I've always hated sweating. And the bad part about not exercising is that you just sweat all the time. And so now I'm just constantly uncomfortable because I don't want to exercise to not sweat, because then I'm going to be sweating. But then I just sit here and get fat, and now I'm just sweating just sitting here.
Consider yourself lucky. I don't sweat, and it's terrible.
No, it's not. I hate sweating. It's itchy. It makes me feel gross. I've always hated sweating, but I didn't have much of it wasn't a big deal when I was in junior high and high school because it was just all the time for me.
Yeah.
I just sweated literally all the time because we were always doing something active, and I was in so much better shape. But I've still always been a big kid, so, well, I've always been big. Let's not say kid anymore. That's not fair to anyone. I'm almost 32. Calm down. But yeah, I've always fucking hated sweating. I hate being hot. Like, I would much rather exercise in the cold and have my lungs hurt than be outside in the hot and sweating. I've always been like that.
Oh yeah, I hate the hot. No, thank you. But I also don't like the cold. Super duper hate it because I don't sweat. That's the problem. Like, this is very personal and weird, but I don't really sweat even when it's super duper duper hot. Like, there are like 2 or 3 places on my body that can sweat, and they don't sweat until it's like 190 degrees. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be fucking miserable outside before my body starts sweating, and it's terrible.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel too. Except for that I'm just fine most of the time.
No.
Y'all know what Leah's ideal temperature is? She wants to keep the house on 78 degrees.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It is fucking miserable. I put it on 72 and she can live with it. She can go to a hotter room if she wants to.
I'm literally freezing all the time. Like, it's like 98, 100 degrees outside in
you
the
might have diabetes.
In the heat, and I don't. They've tested. I have the opposite problem, actually. But
you're hypoglycemic? Mm-hmm. How do I not know this?
I don't know, but I always.
How do I not know that you're hypoglycemic?
I've had hypoglycemia since I was in. They diagnosed it when I passed out in school in like 10th grade.
What the fuck? How do I not know about this? All right. Jig's up. Leah and I have never met. We started this show together a year ago, and we had never met before that. Mm. No, really, I had no idea you were hypoglycemic.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I guess that's a good spot to end it. We'll discuss my medical history next week.
All right. Well,
don't you
fun.
think? Oh, well, that was great fun, y'all. Keep submitting your questions. We got a nice full bag now because, a few of you really enjoy submitting the questions.
And we super appreciate it.
Yes, we really enjoy that, too. Did you hear my voice crack?
Yes, I did. And
we really enjoy it.
We really do need some personal stories as well, so I don't have to keep recounting horror stories from my childhood. So if you would like to have me read a story, or if you want to read your story and we'll play it and react to it live on this show, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to have me read your story, email it to southernspiritspodcast@gmail.com. If you want to read your own story, all you've got to do is take your cell phone out, use the voice recorder app that's on every cell phone, tell your story, and then email that file to us at southernspiritspodcast@gmail.com. We'll do that as well. We would happy to do either way. Any kind of story is great. Paranormal, your favorite hometown murder, your creepy aunts, brothers, cousins, uncles, weird doll collection. I don't know. I'm open to anything. Let's hear about your cool experiences or creepy experiences, whatever.
And for any of you that haven't recorded your voice before, I promise you that everyone hates their voice the first few times they hear it recorded.
Yeah, it's not you. It's everybody. Just get over it and enjoy it. And
you will get over it, especially if you start doing a podcast. You'll get like 5 episodes in and go, okay, it's not a big deal. My voice still sucks, but I'm not that worried about it anymore.
Yeah.
So.
It'll be fun, and everybody can hear your fun story from your own voice. It'd be pretty great.
Yeah, I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun, y'all. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/Southern Spirits Podcast if you want to hear a creepypasta this week and next week and the week after that.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what Leah's doing now.
Sure is.
All right. Well, we will see y'all for the main episode this weekend.
Bye, y'all.